Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Michele and I'm an independent demonstrator here with Stampin Up in New South Wales, Australia. Thank you very much for joining me today and I hope you have had a lovely week. So what we're going to be playing with today is a brand new product, and as you've probably seen all over Facebook, Stampin Up have brought out a foiling machine. Now, I did think long and hard about buying this because it is an investment. It is a lot of money. And I know and I understand not everybody is going to be able to get hold of this. It does work in conjunction with our cut and emboss machine, our large one. It does not work with a lot of other cutting machines. So it will not work with your Big Shot. Your Big Shot is just a little bit too narrow to take the plate. So there are going to be limitations to what you can and can't do if you have other products, other brands. So just be very, very aware of it, of all of that when you're thinking about purchasing this. Now, I'm going to go through this with you, and I actually haven't played with this as yet. I received it just the other day, unboxed it yesterday, and because of my alterations, this is the first time I've had a chance to play with it. Now, I will, before we go any further, just say, if jump on, please say hello, let us know where you're from, and post any questions that you might have, and let's see if we can answer them for you. Okay, let me just turn my screen down. Now, I will say that this live may take a little bit longer than I'm hoping because, as I said, I haven't played with this as yet. So I'm learning this the same time as you're learning this. Now, this is the brochure that Stampin Up have put out. I haven't put it up on my Facebook page as yet. I will put it up onto my blog and my Facebook page hopefully today. I've only printed off a few pages of it because there's a lot of ink involved in this. So let's just have a quick look through this brochure first. So it's Meet the Metallic Magic. Now, I will just say that we knew this was coming and we were told to keep a big secret about it and not mention anything. We have, as demonstrators, we've had probably 1.5 to 2 weeks to have a play with this ourselves because we're able to purchase it earlier. That's just one of the perks of being a demonstrator. But as far as the release date to customers was concerned, that came up on us. That was given to us at the last minute. So this has been very quick to get ourselves organised and to make up examples and so forth. As I said, I haven't even had a chance to play with this as yet. So we are learning this just as much and as quickly as you are. So this is the brochure that they put out, and these are the products that you get with this tool. So you get a heat pad, which is quite a nice size, and I'll show you the one in a minute. You get 2 silicone mats, one for the heat pad to sit on while it's heating, another one to put your hot dies on. You also get a magnetic tool to pick up those magnetic dies because they are going to be hot. So that's, and you get all the cabling and everything. That's what comes with the product. Now, it's $280. It's a lot of money, I know. Ways that you can get it if you're not already a demonstrator and maybe get it a little bit cheaper. Save up your product credits. Okay, every time you purchase something, you get product credits. You can save those product credits for up to 12 months, I think. So save them up. You don't need to buy this straight away. You know, save it up until you've got a few product credits that you could put towards this machine to make it more viable for you. Another thing is, if you've been thinking about becoming a demonstrator, then maybe this is the time to do it. Okay. I know the prices for a demonstrator have just gone up, and I think it's around about $179, $180. You pay that, you're going to get credits that they're going to send out to you after you've been approved, and those credits can be put against this machine. It used to be that when you signed up, you got a certain amount of money that you could spend for the investment that you put in, and you couldn't really spend over that. You had to spend under it. The way they've changed things is that you can now get those as credits, okay, and you can spend over that amount, but you pay the difference. Okay, so have a look at that way. That's two ways that you can earn this machine if you really, really want it. And of course, the other way is putting money aside when you can to do that. So look, just, I know it's expensive. I know it's a huge investment. That's what took me so long to make up my mind whether I wanted to purchase this. I had to decide whether I could and how much am I going to use it. So really think about it. We don't always have to get everything when they come out, and we don't need to purchase everything that's available. It may be something that's not for you. I'm not a glitz person. I don't use a lot of golds and silvers, and I don't use a lot of bling and all that sort of thing. But the thing that struck me with using the gold foiling machine is it has a certain element of elegance. And I do like that. I am attracted to things that look polished, look finished. So it does give you that sort of look. Now, if you purchase this tool, I think it's before January or before early January, I can find out the date for you, then Stampin' Up are going to give you a free class, okay? It's a limited time offer. The class is valued at $53 here in Australia, and that class will be happening in about another week and a half. Now, in saying that classes are going to be happening in a week and a half, but you may not be able to purchase this for another 2 weeks, and that's going to be after that class, that is fine, because that class will be there for a long time for you to go back and watch it. You just won't be watching it live. You'll be watching it as a replay, but it is still going to be there and you're still learning from it. Hello, Marie. How are you? Okay. You can also purchase your foils. Now, at the moment, we've only got gold foil, silver foil, and a pink foil. Now, I've only purchased the gold and the silver because I just wasn't quite sure whether I really wanted the pink. I think since then I might be changing my mind and getting that pink. But anyway, that's for further down the track. You can also purchase, or you'll need to purchase, if you're going to purchase a tool, at least one of the dies that you need to use with it. Now, there are going to be certain dies that they'll be using in the class, and maybe that's something that you want to look at. I know the butterfly, the flight hot foil dies is going to be one of them. I'm pretty certain it is. Now, with that one, you get the, if you have a look at my image here, and I'll actually show you a bigger one so I can explain this to you. When you get these dies, they come like this. You have one image in gold, and that is the foiling die. You have another image in black, and they're regular dies. Some of these come with stamp sets. So this one here is a stamp and the foiling. This one here is the stamp, the foiling, and dies. The butterflies, you get this foil, the dies, but you also get masks to go with it so you can colour those butterflies in, and we'll be doing something with that in a little while. So there's also another one here, which is detailed ones, and it looks like you're going to get a stamp set and stamp set and foil, because I don't think there's any dies in this. I think pretty certain that's a stamp set and that's your foil. So I'm expecting that one in the next few days, so I will show you that when I get it, because I think that's going to be a great one for doing masculine cards. This one as well. On your second page, then you've got some more detailed. You've got one here which is called Flourish and Frames. Now, you don't have to purchase each of these. You can, if you just want the frames, which is what I'm considering, just get the frames, but you won't get all these images here. Okay, that's your stamp set and your foils and dies. This one here, you've got your sentiments. I ordered all of this and then forgot to order any of the sentiments because there's sentiments here. So you've got a stamp set, you've got your foil, you've got your dies. So this one here is all your sentiments, and then you have the dies, which will cut all of them out at once. This one here is I've got that one here, which is another one I think they'll probably be using in the class, and that is just the foil die. Then you have another sentiment one, which is foils and dies. And then you have a beautiful alphabet one, which I'm looking forward to getting, which is your alphabet and numbers in a foil and dies. You also have one here, which is Swiss dots, which would look great on vellum. And then you have your foil as well. There is also replacement parts, so you can get some of the parts to be replaced if need be, and I'll show you those in a moment. So let's just have a quick look at the actual machine. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is what you get. Bring this mat over. So you get, as I said, a silicone mat. Now this one here is to hold your machine, particularly while that machine is heating up. Okay, let me move that right in for you. I might just move this out. Bear with me one sec and I'll move this out a little bit. There we go. We see all of that. Whoops. There we go then. Let me just see if that makes a big difference. I don't think it's going to. Okay. So there's our machine. Okay, I'll hold that up and I'll just, so that's it there. You get all the power cords and everything for it, and the attachment, I've got it all tied up to a little table thing I've got here on the side. So it's quite a good system with your cabling. I can't think now what it's called, but anyway, all your cabling and everything is there. And this is a magnetic plug, and that just plugs into the side here, and that's how you heat it up. So you can start with that. You also then have, and I'll just pop that there out of the road, you have this tool here. This is the magnetic pickup tool. So this allows you to pick up those hot magnetic plates. Hi, Kay. Hi, Nicole. Then you have a silicone mat, and that's what you're going to pop your hot dies onto. And you've also got a shim, and then you've got your top plate. So they're all the bits that you get within this system. And then all your dies and everything are on top of that. And again, you have your foil. Now, when you get your foil, it comes in a little box like this. There's 2 rolls in this box, and altogether there's 12.7 meters, and it's 12.7 centimeters wide, and it's 4.6 meters. So there'd be about 2.3 meters, I would say, on each one of these rolls, which will last for quite a while. And you've got these little boxes to keep them nice and stored in there. So let's get working. As I said, I haven't even played with this as yet. So let's have a look how this all works. I'm going to remove all of this paperwork I've got here out of our road. And I am going to bring in the instructions because I haven't done this. And we're going to go through this together. So I've got some pieces of cardstock so I can show you. So what I've got here is a piece of solid core cardstock. I've got a piece of double-sided cardstock, and I've got another piece of double-sided cardstock here in a lighter colour as well. So that's what we're going to work on. I've already cut my foil. So I've cut 3 pieces of foil here. Now, with the silver one, to know which is your right side, you have a very shiny side, and then you have a matte side. Your matte side is your wrong side. So the shiny side is your right. With the gold, it's that matte silver anyway. Okay, so if you're worried about that silver one, your shiny side is the correct side. So let's just make sure we've got that set up on there. I might just move some of this out of the road. I am hoping we'll get a time to make a card with this as well. All that rubbish under my plate. Okay, so let's see if we can move this more. There we go. So we need, I'm going to place out that silicone mat to one side because that's what I'm going to put all my hot dies on, and we've got these. So let's power this little thing up. It's quite lightweight. It's not too big. It's quite easy to handle with one hand. Hello, Lynette. How are you? The magnetic tool, you need one of those. You can actually buy these as, that's a replacement. You can buy these as a replacement part. And I saw another demonstrator the other day. She purchased the replacement one because she has not much strength in her wrists. So she's able to pick up, especially the larger dies, with 2 of these and feel quite secure. So that you can get a replacement part, and the shim and these 2 plates here are also as replacement parts. You want to try to keep that foil as flat as possible. So let's plug this in. So it's just going to snap into there and automatically comes on. So if we're looking at our instructions here, apparently this takes about 6 minutes to heat up. So place the hot foil plate on the platform with the silicone mat. Then it says plug the power cord in. With the magnetic plug will snap into place, which we've done. The platform beeps and all lights briefly flash. During heating, approximately 6 minutes, the white timer button stays lit. So that's all lit up there. I don't know whether you can see it. And the red light flashes. Yep, that's happening. When the platform is ready to use, it beeps again and the red light stays solid. The white timer button flashes. So we haven't heard it beep yet and it's still flashing, so we'll just wait for that. And then we're going to place our die down flat. So we're going to use this one here. And this is quite a big die, so I'm going to take that there. And if you have a look at it, it actually feels really soft. It's like it's a metal die, but it's got a coating on it, and it's actually a weird feeling because it's very, you almost think it's plasticky. It's very soft there. I have seen people also use tweezers, but you've also got the tweezers that came with if you're worried about just regular tweezers getting hot or metal tweezers damaging your dies, you've also got, I don't know where mine are, here they are, these tweezers, which came in the heat embossing, and they're a silicone. So if you need tweezers for anything, they're probably good ones to have on hand. So I'm going to pop those just there anyway. Okay, we're still flashing, so we're still waiting for that first 6 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a silver and gold onto these here. Now, they do recommend that you use the two-tone cardstock. Apparently, you get a better finished item with the two-tone. So what I've got here is I've got a piece of, these are cherry cobbler. A lot of big difference in colour, actually. That's probably more similar in colour, but that's the lighter side. This is your solid core. So that's the solid core, and this is your two-tone. So I thought we'd do both and then compare the difference, because this one here has got a little bit more, it's not as smooth. Apparently you don't get as smooth a finish with your foiling. Okay. It's just taking, it's a very long 6 minutes when you're looking for 6 minutes to happen. It's like watching the kettle boil. Doesn't quite happen as quick as what you would like. Come on. So I hope everyone is having a lovely day. I haven't been outside, but it looks beautiful outside. It looks windy and I think it's a bit cool, but at least we've got some blue sky. This morning we had a bit of fog around. So I hope it's nice where you are. I did hear, Marie, you were saying it was lovely and sunny today in Alberta. I hope you don't have any fires near you. A friend of mine from Canada the other day was saying that they had a lot of smoke and everything from fires around them. So, Nicole, you're saying that you need that magnetic tool. So do you already have a foiling machine? Yeah, watch pot never boils. That's right. So many times we stand over the stove watching and waiting, and it's like, I always think, the kettle never boils while you're watching it. It's the longest 6 minutes out. Perth is fine, but the occasional shower, well, that'd be quite nice. Because Perth can be so hot and dry. My son was in Perth for a little while with the Navy. And my nephew's just come back from living over there for about 12 to 18 months. I think he was over there working on properties. He's now somewhere hiking through Scotland. Come on, come on, come on. I want to get this done. I think if you're going to be doing the foiling, you're probably best to, if you've got a few projects you're working on all at once, probably to work on it all together, because this is the longest 6 minutes I've ever had. So who is thinking about purchasing this, or who has, because you know that as of today, you can actually purchase this if you're a customer. There we go. So we've got to pop this on, place the die flat side down. Okay, that's down. And press the white timer button. So we're pressing that. So now the next button is flashing. So that's the yellow button. While the die heats up for 1 to 2 minutes, the white timer button and the red button stays lit. Yes. When ready, the platform beeps again and the green light turns on and all lights will be lit. Okay, we're back now to the next side. Build your sandwich by placing these items on the die in the order: foil, shiny side down, cardstock. So we've got to remember, foil's got to go card side down. So you haven't tried yours yet, Lynette? Okay, so we might do the silver foil. I think it's a little bit different to when we're putting something through our die cut machine, where we usually put our cardstock down first, and then put our dies and everything. With this, we're doing it the other way around. So that will take a little while to learn. And I did see a post on Facebook this morning where someone had actually put something around the wrong way and ended up foiling her plate here. Okay, so it's beeped again. So what did we say? We're going to pop this on order. So foil, shiny side down. So that's our matte side. That's our shiny. So let's go that side down. and they recommend cutting it a bit bigger than what you need it. And I'm only that was a 6-inch piece. And then we're going to pop our cardstock on top. What I might do is just move that and just be very wary of the heat. Cut everything bigger than what you need, and I can see why. I've cut this only at 10.5 centimetres. You may even want to think bigger because you can't see where your die is, though there is measurements on here, and it's centimetres in one direction and inches in the other. Then place our put our 4 shim on top of that, and then we're going to pop our plate on top of that. There's a spacer. Okay. It doesn't say we need to wait for anything. It says unplug. Five, 6, yep. Unplug the cord from the platform and carefully remove it from keeping. I'm going to keep that in there for a second because I just do need to get. This is where I'm not organised enough. I've got to grab my machine here, and I'm going to just move some of these pieces out of the road. I think I might need a second table, but where I would put it, I don't know. Okay, let's take this, and we're going to pop this into our machine. Now, the trick with this is rolling this through, and let's see why someone said earlier today to hold this, because it, whoops, I'm just going to move this out a bit and just move these along. They were actually holding that down to get that to go through. Now, the trick of this is to roll this through slowly. Your contraband? Now, you wouldn't have contraband, would you, Nicole? I'm going very slowly. Maybe I could go a little bit quicker, but I don't know. So we're just going to continue just taking that through slow and steady. And then I saw that another demonstrator actually, once she'd gone through, she actually rolled it back just to make sure. So we'll give that a go. And we're just going to keep it nice and slow. Just bring that back through. Okay, so let's have a look. So let's take this off. Remove these 2 plates. There's my piece underneath there. And let's see the magic happen. Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, that looks so nice. Now, I probably could have moved that down. I've lost a little bit at the end, but that's okay, because I think I cut that at 6 inches. So I haven't got very good contact along this edge here. But that is just so nice. Now, you could cut this up. You could cut out, individual flowers to use on projects. There is so much that you could do with this. I want to find out a way I can use some of these things on scrapbook pages. So that is with the cardstock. Now, to remove this, all I do is snap that onto there. Probably actually go into the middle more, and that will pick that up. Take it over to my other silicone mat, push that button, and that just drops off. So let's plug this in again. Hopefully we won't have to wait as long this time. And let's do the other one, and then I'll show you close up what these look like. And there's quite a bit of heat in that, but it's not so hot that I'm burning myself. Yeah, it is. And I'm actually really stoked with that. I think that is just so nice. Really, really nice. It's lovely. So this is going to be fun, I think. So let's wait for this to heat up again. Hopefully we don't have to wait the 6 minutes because it's already hot. This time we're going to use some gold foil. So we can also compare the gold foil. So give me some ideas. What is everybody thinking they are going to create? You know what? This would make really lovely wedding cards, invitations, 20th birthdays, 21st birthday cards, 60th wedding anniversary cards, anything that's got a, it's make it something special. I think it's going to look great. But, you don't have to be just foiling things for weddings and anniversaries and all that sort of thing. As I said, I want to try doing this on a scrapbook page somehow. I want to try, and I didn't cut any vellum because you can also do this on vellum. We'll do that another time. So you can do your hot foiling on vellum. I want to try doing some hot foiling on some designer series paper. Depending on what you're doing, I think it could look quite effective, especially the one with the leaf. Let me just show you the one I'm talking about. This big leaf one here, I think could be fantastic to do that on a piece of designer series paper, or even getting some cardstock and colouring it yourself with your blends and then foiling over the top of it. Now, I believe that from what I have seen, this does not fit on top of that. They're not supposed to be, one marries up with the other because it's just too hard to do. You are doing this a little bit blind because you're putting your dye down and then layering everything on top. So, and the stamped image, they're supposed to be offset. So if I don't know whether you can see, but this one here, they've stamped the image onto their cardstock and then they've done the foiling over the top, but it's at a slightly different angle. Now, Nicole says, I foiled my daughter's 18th birthday card and she loved it. I also made her a card box for 18th and foiled on mounted board, used to frame pictures. That would be lovely. So there's a lot we're going to be able to do with this. And that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do and to, just seeing how far we can use it. Okay, we're still waiting that 6 minutes. As they might say, chat amongst yourselves. Because after we've done this, I'm going to foil on the light pink on the, what was the colour called? Barely Blush, the butterflies. And then we're going to see how we can make those butterflies into a card. So I've pre-cut everything for the card, so I'm hoping there are a few layers in it. So I'm hoping it won't take too long. So I hope you can stick around with me for all of this. I've seen some people use this piece here for a card, but you do have the plastic coating on top. Okay, so this is now heated. So let's pop that onto there. Let's pop our foil down next. Got to think, and we want our shiny side down. Am I correct? Please, someone tell me. I'm going to take a little while. Build a sandwich, foil, shiny side down. Yep. So we're going to pop that down on top of that. Get it right in the position I want it. There we go. Let's pop our cardstock down. So this is our two-sided cardstock. Oh, I should have pushed that button, shouldn't I? There we go. See, I'm going to have to learn all these steps. And then we're going to pop that on top. And that on top again. And now we're just got to wait for this to heat up. So I've had to rearrange my craft room a little bit to be able to accommodate for this. Not that this is going to take up any room for storage or anything like that, but I've pretty much got a spot for everything. So I've got a little rolling drawer system that I've had for quite a while, and it was sort of tucked away in a corner. So I've sort of brought it out, and I'm hoping that that it will permanently sit there on that spot. So, it's something you could easily store. It's light enough and small enough you could store it away somewhere and then only pull it out when you're going to be needing it. I'm hoping maybe to do quite a bit of foiling. But I would like to see them bring out some other colours. Is there any colours that you guys are interested? I mean, I'd love to see a black and a white. Okay, that's all done. So once that light is done, we've foiled all that up. So we can disconnect our now this is not disconnecting for me. Just maybe have to pull a little bit harder. Why isn't that disconnecting for me? Whoops. Keep that there. Got a very hard magnetic attachment there. Okay, so we're going to take this now, pop it in here. Again, I'm just going to hold that down a little bit till it starts, and then start slowly bringing this through. Now, as I said before, it doesn't fit in your big shot. So if you have a big shot and you haven't got this Stampin' Up one, then you may need to also think about purchasing the Stampin' Up die cutting machine. Unless you've got the big shot, which is a wider one, extra large or something, I think it's called. A lot of the quilters use it. The teal blue and ice blue foil. Okay, yeah, that'd be nice. Teal would be lovely. Rose gold. Oh, yeah, that would be nice. I don't know how. I mean, I know the colour they've got, they call it pink, but it would be a rose, but it wouldn't be a rose gold. Yeah, I sort of thought at the beginning I probably wouldn't use that, but I'll tell you what, I probably would use a teal. But the black and white I would like for sentiments. I think that would look quite nice. Okay, let's have a look and then let's compare. So let's take these two plates off. Oops, I have actually foiled my plate there. So I probably could have cut my cardstock a little bit wider. Okay, so let's peel this off. So there we are with the gold. Beautiful. So let me grab these two and let's have a look at them. Let me bring it right up underneath the camera. Can't get my words out for you. So number one, make your cardstock wider than what you need, otherwise you're going to end up falling onto your shim plate. Make sure your foil is big enough for what you want. But look, I mean, they look lovely. I'm tending to like the silver a little bit than the gold on the cherry cobbler, but it's still quite nice. And I think, come Christmas time, I think depending on what dyes they bring out, it could be quite fun coming up with some really wonderful Christmas cards. I've got the ones that are what are they called? Got these coming, which is the Echoes of Detail, which are these ones here with the brickwork and so forth, because being a mum of 4 boys, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's where I was sort of like, oh, I want to try some of this on scrapbook pages. Not quite sure yet how I'm going to do it, but we want to give it a go. But anyway, that's that. So there's a comparable. Now, I can't see any problem. They said there could be a problem with the foil adhering to the heavier cardstock. And really, at a glance on that at the moment, I think it's just as nice as what it is on the two-tone cardstock. So I really think it's going to be test it and see what you think. Maybe I took mine through really, really slow, and I've got better adhesion between the two. I don't know, but I'm very, very happy with both of those on both styles of cardstock. So let's remove this one because I really want to do these butterflies and see what they look like. Let's plug this in. Again, and let it warm up, since we definitely have to wait that 6 minutes. Now, I did hear something about a switch or something there, but I don't think there is. Okay, let's push that on. I think I was supposed to do that. Now, I was going to say I have seen some people use this on the negative side. You do have a plastic coating on there, so you may have a bit of an issue with cutting that. But if you put, I'm just looking at that, you've got the embossing has come through to the other side. I don't know whether you can see that, but if you wanted, see, I've embossed that side, but this is the two-tone. Look at that. Just pick that up. Can you see it? So if you wanted just to have a hint, be like, we used to do it with a Versamark. Just Versamark, and not put any, let your Versamark dry, and you're left with this ghosting effect. And that's what it's left on there. Wow. Now, what I was going to say is if you adhere that onto there and you go to cut this, just be very careful because there is a plastic coating on this. You could adhere it with your adhesive back stuff. Can't think of the words at the moment. And glue that down, but the plastic might lift a little bit when you go to cut it. So maybe even cutting it with a guillotine might be better because the guillotine is pushing down on it, whereas the blade on the trimmer actually drags it. So, but that's, you could keep these for maybe, doing a different type of card. And some of them have worked out and look really smart. So I wouldn't be throwing that away just as yet. I'm going with the silver one. So let's pull out the dies. So let me just put that all to one side and pull out the butterfly dies so we can get a bit of a look at this. And I'm just going to have a quick look because that's on there. Doesn't come off, but I think that's just going to be something that's going to happen. So that was just where probably my foil didn't cover my plate wide enough. Or actually the foil covered my plate. My cardstock didn't cover it. So whatever was, so make sure your cardstock is bigger. So whatever is there is going to be maybe attaching itself to your plate. Removing the plastic coating will give a distressed foil look, perfect for glitz, grunge or shabby chic. That's interesting. So if you use adhesive sheets to adhere it to a piece of cardstock, you're going to have glue in between. So how would you remove the plastic sheet? I have seen pictures that look like that had happened to somebody. Nicole, you're going to have to tell me more on that one. But anyway, let's get our butterflies out, and we're waiting for this to heat up. So we can now pop that down. I'm going to pop it that way down. Should I push it now? Oh, God, I can't remember. I only did it 5 minutes ago. The brain's going. Now I press it. Okay. I think I pressed it too early. Now we want to put this on top, and we're going to put shiny side down. Shiny side down, shiny side up. I'm going to have to do this a few times. Okay. Shiny side down. Almost did it wrong. I've got to remember this. Shiny side down. Now, where's my piece of pink? And I want to use the darker pink. We're going to place that on top. Place that on top. And our shim on top. And now we're just going to wait for this to beep again. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about this one, Nicole. Yes, I am. Use a plastic eraser or sand eraser to remove overfoiling. Oh, okay, so I can remove some of that on that plate. That's good to know. Not that I'm really worried about it. Okay, then. So now we've done that. So let's unplug it. I'm going to take all of this. Just got to remember which way the foiling goes down, and we're going to start rolling this through very slowly. And I'm just going to run this through back again. And you've also got a grid on your machine too. So if you want to layer and keep things within, sort of grid lines to make sure that you're all layered up properly, it's always a good handy thing to have as well. Okay, let's have a look. So let's remove our top piece. And I'm just going to grab that and pop that over there for the moment. And then we're going to grab our shim. And here's our foil piece. And I hope I've done this the right way around. Oh, something's not as good as what I'd hoped. Then that could be me. But I did get a little bit of lines on there. But anyway, this is going to get die cut. So keep all of these pieces because I think you could probably use some of these bits in between if there's just tiny weeny little things. What I want to see is what sort of effect I can get if I reused this again, but not necessarily butterflies with a floral, and just sort of, because then you'll have a butterfly on top of a floral sort of thing. I know what I mean. I'm going to play with it, but keep these nice and flat somewhere. Don't crinkle them up. I'm going to pop them into a folder or something to keep them nice and flat. So let's pick that up, pop that over there. Have to practice those butterflies a bit more. Okay, so let's pop that there for the moment, and I am going to move this while it's cooling down over here to its new home. And let's pop this aside for the moment. And let's have a look at this card. Now, let me see if I can go back up here and just rejig my settings here a bit. Just going to move that along a bit there. Okay. So we have our butterfly. Now, this is not a Stampin' Up product. This is a product that I have purchased online because it's a sticky mat. It's a silicone mat, so it's going to hold this for me so I can colour it in. So we're going to pop that onto there. Now, the reason why I've gone the pink on this is I want to add some pink tones in ink on it, and I didn't want to use it on white because when I die cut it, it is going to leave a border around, and I didn't want a white border. I wanted something in the pink tones. So it comes with these masks. So let me just... Okay, let's have a look. Sentiments with clear lettering, foil backgrounds are stunning. Okay, I'm going to have to learn lots from you, I think, Nicole. We'll be bringing out a reverse foiling plate. I hadn't heard the original system has one, and I get 2 for 1 foil card. You've lost me there, Nicole. Okay, so let's have a look at these. These are all numbered 1, 2, 4. Now, we don't need 4, which is the centerpieces for our butterflies, but I do need number 1, which is this one here. And the beauty of this plate here, now I can't put my notch on it because I don't want to mark this, but because I've foiled this, I believe that I should be able to just line these up with my images on here. Should line up nicely. And then that will just adhere down. It just suctions down onto that. So I've got my brushes here, and I have got 3 colours of ink. So I have brought out the Berry Burst, Fresh Freesia, and Bubble Bath. And if I had Bubble Bath in the double-sided cardstock, I probably would have used that, but I didn't. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with this Bubble Bath, and we're going to go over this first. So let me just make sure this is lined up nicely, which I don't think it quite is. Let me just try this again. So it's got to line up with that one. There. And we're going to colour these in. So we're just going to do some masking like we've done in using previous masks. We're just lining these up. Now on my card that I'm going to create in a minute with you, I don't know whether I'm going to be using the biggest butterfly. I may only be using the little ones because I think it's going to be a little bit too big, because I didn't really realise at the time how big they were going to be. So I've started with my light one, so I might be able to use the same brush all the way through. Now I'm going to remove this one, and I'll clean that off later. And now I want mask 2, and we're going to line this up as well on here. I'll tell you what, it's much easier lining up the foil. And because I'm going from a light colour to a dark colour, I can keep going. Hello, Donna, how are you? Okay, so we're going to go in our fresh freezer for our next one. Full of firsts today. First time I've used the foiling machine. First time I've used this plastic mat, silicone mat, which is really good. It's working really well for what I wanted. And then the designer series paper, I'm going to put these butterflies on. It's the first time I've cut into that as well. So, okay, I think that's enough for that one. So that's our fresh freezer. And now we're going to pop on our third layer, and I'll clean all those later. So again, just lining all of these up. This layer is a little bit harder to line up, I think, but I think I've got them. And I've brought in Berry Burst. So I'm going to work this one here a little bit lighter, because Berry Burst can be very bright. Okay, fingers crossed. Let's hopefully this has turned out. Wow, they look good. So now if you've got a what's the plates called? They're not silicone plates. To do printing. If you've got those plates, I think you can do the same sort of thing with that. It's just that's a little bit tackier. So there's our beautiful butterflies. So let's pull out again our large cut and emboss, and I'll move these out of the road. And now we need to bring in our regular sandwich, which of course is plate 1, plate 2, plate 3, and I need to go back to these and pick out my die. Now this also comes with lots of dies to cut out extra leaves and 2 little butterflies as well, which is quite good. And we're going to pop this onto here, and I'm just going to use some tape to make sure that I get this lined up where I want it. And I'm just wondering whether it is. I want a bit more of this tape. So I want these to line up quite well. Not move about too much. I don't like using washi tape because I have not had great success with using washi tape, but I can't get that post-it tape anymore. So I've got to look for something else that I can use to hold those down. Let's just run this through our die cutting. And pop all those out. And look at our beautiful butterflies we have there. Now, by doing this on like that very pale, barely blush, I don't have that stark white line around it, which is what I wanted. Okay, so let's grab all the bits and pieces from my card and let's put it together. I'll cross our fingers, this is all going to go. So what I've got here, I've cut myself a piece of Secret C for my card base. I'm using the Moonlit Flora Designer Series paper for my DSP I have there. And I've also used the Arches dies, which is the Everyday Arches, to cut one out of my Secret C, and that solid core card base, and then a smaller one in the Peaceful Pine card as well. This is the two-tone, and I'm using the lighter side. I've also cut a piece out of Basic Beige to go on the inside of my card. Now, I will put all my measurements and everything onto all of this probably sometime, may not be this afternoon, it may be tomorrow before I get on to doing this. And don't forget, tomorrow morning I'm still hoping to do another live with my scrapbooking. What we're creating, whether I'm going to be working on my album or not, I haven't decided as yet. Well, may not decide until tomorrow morning. But anyway, I've got my card base folded in half. I'm going to adhere these pieces down first. So I've got a piece of Basic Beige and it's going to go on the inside, and I've made it smaller than what I would normally do because I wanted to have a trim of my Designer Series paper on one side a bit. So I've just got a little bit going around, a couple of millimeters going around three sides, and then left a wide border on the other side, and we're going to adhere that to the inside of our card. Thank you very much for hanging on and staying with me this afternoon as we work through our new machine and then putting this card together. I really wanted to show something we can do with these cards with our foiling machine. So once we've done that, I'm going to adhere this piece of Designer Series paper onto the front of my card. Give that a good rub down and make sure that glue is well and truly smoothed out. And now I'm going to adhere these two together. Just like so. Okay. Now, what I've got here, I was playing with trying to make up my mind what colour, what colour I was going to do my butterflies. So I was sort of playing with the masks before and used some yellows and golds and so forth, but I wasn't quite happy with those. I mean, they look good. They'll probably even look better if they were foiled, but I was just playing without the foiling because, as I said, that was the first time I've done the foiling, just to get a combination of colours I liked, but I ended up deciding to go with these ones. You've also got the dies with the butterflies to cut out the body of your butterfly. So if you wanted to, we could actually even pop that on top, which I might do. I actually quite like that, but I won't be using that big one. So I'm going to wait and see which butterflies I'm going to use. But I've also cut out here some of the dies that go with this particular suite. Now, one thing I did realise I was going to do, and I've glued those together already, but I wanted to put a bit of texture on here. So let's just see if I can do that without making a real mess. So what I've got here is Peaceful Pine. And I'm just going to move my card out of the road, and I just want to add a little bit of texture. Now, I'm not going to be worrying too much about this being even, but I just wanted to add a little bit of texture through this card and not necessarily either might just do that one again. It's okay because it's going to get covered up. Probably put a bit more on there than I was planning. That's fine. So I just want to add a little bit more detail onto there. Hello, Donna. How are you? Sorry for not saying hello to you before. So I've got here a die from the Flora set. I can't think of the name of it right now. Where is it? Fern and Flora, and that's going to be for my sentiment. So we might just stamp that right now as well. So there's our sentiment, our cardstock, and I'm going to be using my basic beige. I'm going to use my Peaceful Pine again. Now, I like to stamp first, die cut later, so I'm just going to stamp that on there. So there's my sentiment, and we can run this through our mini die cutting machine. So I'm going to pop that onto there. So let's just grab this and our plates. Just going to, now this is all cooled down, just move this right across to the side out of the road. So there's our sentiment. So now we've got our front. Now I'm thinking of putting maybe some linen thread on this somewhere, but I haven't worked out yet where. So I've die cut a whole stack of, don't want that little butterfly in there, let's move him, bits and pieces. So I've die cut out of double-sided cardstock because it's a little bit finer than the other one, and these are very fine and delicate pieces. So I have done some in Secret Sea. I've done some with the Peaceful Pine using both the light and dark side. I have done some in the Old Olive using the light and dark side, and the Secret C I also use the light and dark side. So let's just grab a few of these pieces, and that's a Secret C using the light side. We could use that one. I'm sure I did a Secret C with the dark side. Maybe I didn't in that particular one. Got it in that. But what we could do is, so thinking I need 2 of these, but not necessarily in the same. So I want to form a little bit of a layer. So this is just a little bit of a dry fit. See what we can come up with. So I'm sort of thinking our sentiment is going to go across here somewhere. Got that one. That's on the lighter side. That's a peaceful pine on the dark. Got our butterflies, and I'm thinking of just using the little ones for this. So we've got a big one and a little one. We could also layer up some more fern pieces if we wanted to. You know what, something like that I think is going to be, don't want to make it too much in there. How does that look with the pink butterflies? So I've just got my linen thread here, and I'm just running my fingers down it just to straighten that out. And let's grab my bow maker. So I might want a bigger bow than that. Let's see, I might just do it around my fingers. You know what, I'm not even going to tie a proper knot in that because I want that to look reasonably full. I'm just going to pop a little bit of adhesive on there. Now I'm just got to make sure I've stuck that the right way. Might do is just take those off again, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a twist. Find about the middle and just twist it a little bit. Just move those about until I'm happy. I'm going to trim that down a bit more. So I've got all that onto there. I'm just going to leave that there for the moment. Now we need to glue all of these down. So we've got a bit of an idea of what we want to do. Take those off for the moment. And let's just start popping all of this down. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down through that center spine. I'm not want too much on there, but I know that I'm going to cover a lot of this up. So that can go down up there a little bit. Now this is going to be my second one, and I'm just going to again just put a little bit down there. Just angle that out a little bit. Now I usually have, here it is, cloth here. I just want to tap out some of that glue in there. It's just a microfiber cloth picked up reasonably recently. Now this one here, we want to have that one probably going that way. These two are both the old olive, but I've got the dark up to the front there, but this side here I've got the light. So I want to pop a little bit of glue on the back of this. I'm going to bring that over there a little bit. Then this one here, we're going to go over the top again. We're just going to build this all up. Just going to take that down a little bit. Maybe might even bring that one up a little bit higher and then bring that one down a little bit like that. So that's it so far. Let's grab some dimensionals, and I might use the black dimensionals for this, even though I'm using a light coloured sentiment. Okay, I don't have any dark large dimensionals. Nope. Okay, let's use the small. Let's make sure I've got no more here. Okay. Just use up these small ones. So what I could do, instead of using that, take that off. I'm going to use up these end bits here, but I just want probably a piece that, a piece that. I don't want to put dimensional over the top of that ribbon, but I do want a little bit of it just to go in there and hold it in place, because that's a lot of bulk there and I don't want it being bulked out too much. So I can put another little bit on there. Pull the backings off. That can go there. Now we need the larger ones. Now I thought I had a third. Did I have a third? How many butterflies did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I do like trying to see my take a pick tool here. There we are. I keep losing the cover for that somewhere on the floor probably. Now I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of this, and I think we're going to pop this onto the just let that dry for a bit. I actually quite like that. Then we've got this little one, and no, that's not the right one. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Is that the right one? Trying to find which of these goes on this one. That one. So let's put a little bit of glue on the back of this one. Don't need too much. One, two, and then we've got this one here. If you want to put 3 on there. Now, is that the right one? It looks like it is. Let's just check it. Yes. We are going to put one of these butterflies too on the inside of our card. Okay. Let's just pop the lid onto that, and while we're waiting for that to dry, let's put some dimensionals on the back of this. Grab our card base, make sure we've got it the right way. Pop that onto there, just like that. And I've got more space at the bottom than I do at the top because proportionately that's still keeping everything looking nice. All my ferns I keep, pop them in a container. They can be used another time. Let's just pop that dye in there so we don't lose it. And let's find where we're going to pop these little cute little cuties on here. Now I'm going to use I will use the black one. I was explaining to you before why I wanted to use the black ones is because the base of this card is very dark. So, and I'm just going to pop one little dimensional on there. Because the base of the card is dark, you could go either the black or the white. Put one there, and then this one here is our next smaller. I'm just bending those wings a little bit just to give it a bit of interest. Could add another one there. And I think really that is enough for the front of my card as far as my butterflies are concerned, because we don't want to overdo it. Now I'm wondering, what have I got? Since we've added some bling, we might as well keep going and add a little bit more. So let's just have a look what we've got here. Now I'm sure there was one that came with that sweet. Whether I can find it or not is another thing. Is that the one that came with the sweet? Actually, I think it's that one. I'm going to have to put that away in a minute. I'm losing it. Okay. This is the dewdrops, I think. Yep, dewdrop embellishments. Okay then. And I'm just going to use the clear ones on this because I really don't want to add more colour. I just want to add the one about there and probably another one. I'm trying to think about probably about there. Maybe a small one, I think. 1, 2. Going to add one in there. So that's that. And then on the inside, what we can do to finish this off is I'm going to pop this one here. I'm not going to put it up on dimensionals. Just add a little bit of glue on there. Go at the top, we could go at the bottom. Actually, I am going to grab just so then our butterfly looks like it's resting on something. Just there. And let's just dab a little bit of this glue out of the... There we go. So there we are. So using our hot foiling today, we have created a couple of card bases. Let me see if I can... card fronts. So we've got that one, and we have got this one in the silver, and they won't be going to waste because I will create a card from that at some stage. We've also created some beautiful butterflies and using our masks, and there's my card for today. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you like seeing our new foiling system. Remember, it is an outlay. It is expensive, but if you can save up your reward points, if you even want to consider becoming a demonstrator and you're here in Australia, please contact me. And, you know, maybe I can help you with that, and, you know, use up the credits they give you when you join Stamping Up to also put towards your machine. If, you know, like if you feel you've already got, you know, plenty of the stamps and everything else to go with it, don't think you have to join up and you've got nothing else and you've got to buy the machine. No, you don't. You're better off buying your stamps, your inks, and your cardstock first, then save up and put your money aside. The foiling machine, they believe, is going to be very, very popular, and it is going to go very, very quickly. So there is going to be a bit of a wait time if we go out of stock very quickly. So there will be a wait time then for new stock to come in of the machine. So be very aware of that as well. And that goes with the dies and the stamps and so forth, the bundles that go with it, as well as that. So consider it. If you have any questions, please ask me. If I don't know the answer, I will look for it, because this is just as new for me as it is to you. So I hope you have a lovely weekend. If you can join me at 10:30 tomorrow morning for a little bit of scrapbooking, we may do that. I have got some photos that I thought were lost and I have found of my boys that I want to scrapbook. So this may not work on my album that I'm working on me tomorrow. May do something a little bit different. It may not even be a full double-page spread. I might have to break it up over 2 weeks. I will work that out in the next couple of hours. And otherwise, we will see you hopefully tomorrow morning at 10:30. Otherwise, next Friday at 1 o'clock. Thanks for now. Bye.